The senator from North Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to take a few minutes today before our upcoming vote to express my strong opposition to what our colleagues on the other side of the aisle are doing with their Congressional Review Act resolution. What they're doing is they're asking the United States to give up a very good, responsible, and dare I say, affordable clean energy plan. And they want to replace it with the old Obama-era, illegal, unconstitutional Clean Power Plan. You know, prior to being elected to Congress, I spent nearly 10 years in North Dakota as an energy regulator, overseeing both economic and environmental policies and regulations in our state. I know something of this issue. For the American people, a fully implemented Obama-era Clean Power Plan would result in much higher electricity costs, less money in their pockets, fewer well-paying jobs, and just a lot less freedom. Their plan reduces household spending power across the country by, Mr. President, $79 billion. It would increase electricity prices in my state of North Dakota by 43%. And it would cost over 125,000 jobs over the next decade. And perhaps one of the most disturbing things about the Clean Power Plan that was presented by the Obama administration, one of the reasons, frankly, that it was deemed unconstitutional and illegal, and there was a stay put on it by the United States Supreme Court, is that in my state, under the proposed rule, we had a target of CO2 reductions of 11%. And in a classic bait and switch maneuver, the final rule increased that 11% by 400%. 11%, while illegal, was doable. But 45% was ridiculous. So make no mistake that right now, here in the United States Senate, Democrats are asking us to vote to eliminate good jobs, raise the cost of living, take more money out of the pockets of the American people. And Mr. President, for what? For what? The United States does not need an unconstitutional federal power grab like this one in order to lead the world in reducing our emissions. In fact, we already do. Emissions have been declining in the United States for nearly 50 years. We don't need to apologize for our action or inaction. In fact, we need to start honoring the innovators that have made these reductions possible in the first place. We should be encouraging them and sending them to continue their work, paving the way for responsible energy production and use for generations to come, not just here in the United States, but across the world. Mr. President, I often speak in the context of several issues about needing to follow a federalist model, the cooperative federalism that our founders envisioned when they created the states. That's a model of state control with governors in charge, not presidents, under the umbrella, of course, of good federal oversight and, of course, some authority. But states need to have primacy. Put those closest to the people in charge and give them the authority and the resources that they need. And this model produces the best results nearly every time, if not every time. The Obama-era Clean Power Plan is exactly the opposite of that. It's a federal power grab that states rejected, and yes, the Supreme Court ruled a stay on. By stark contrast, the Affordable Clean Energy Act rule put forward by the Trump administration, the rule that Democrats want to overturn today in favor of the unconstitutional plan that hurts the American people, is a win for North Dakota and for states across the country. It respects the law and restores the proper balance between states and the federal government. And it promotes energy security, maybe even, one could say, energy dominance. ACE, as it's called, gives states the flexibility to set their own emissions standards, focuses on energy efficiency improvements at individual power plants, and incentivizes increased efficiency for coal power plants, allowing them to remain open. So we have that important base load, low-cost, reliable electricity in the form of clean energy. Mr. President, this simple, responsible plan is what Democrats find so abhorrent. With the vote today, they're asking us to scrap the Affordable Clean Energy Rule and return to a rule that's unconstitutional, tramples on states' rights, kills jobs, raises electricity rates, and does nothing substantial to reduce emissions. I applaud President Trump and EPA Administrator Wheeler for including governors and states and innovators in the discussion before making the final rule. We cannot let that happen today, and I urge my colleagues to join me in voting no, and I yield the floor.